A lost episode of Peppa Pig that never aired. The bus approaches development camp. Peppa, George, Susie, Pedro, and Rebecca look at the tall white walls and pink figures at the entrance. Something feels wrong. In the hall, guards in pink suits with masks greet them. Triangle, square, circle. A mechanical voice explains the rules. Children participate in games, winners get prizes, losers go to additional lessons. The dormitory resembles a hospital. Bunk beds in neat rows, George on the bottom bunk, Peppa on top. Strange sounds from the corridor at night. Silent breakfast, identical porridge, identical plates. Guards watch every movement. First game, creative task. Children receive cookies with shapes. Peppa gets a complex star, George a simple circle, Susie a square, Pedro a triangle, Rebecca a star. Task: carefully cut out the figure. George easily handles his circle. Pedro breaks his triangle. Guards take him away. Rebecca is nervous, hands trembling. Cookie crumbles. She's taken too. Peppa almost finishes her star, but notices a crack. Susie successfully cuts her square. During inspection, a guard finds Peppa's defect. She's declared a failure. George and Susie try to protect Peppa, but rules are iron. Peppa is led down a white corridor to a sterile room where Pedro and Rebecca sit with empty eyes, like dolls. Peppa understands the horrible truth and tries to escape, but guards surround her. The chase down the corridor ends in capture. George wakes up at home in his room on the bottom bunk. Everything seems normal, but all toys are arranged in perfect order, too neat for a child's room. The boy feels a chill down his spine. Peppa and friends are playing happily in the garden. Hooray! What a wonderful day, shouts Peppa. Children run on the grass, laughing with joy. So much fun, says Susie. Friends play with bright toys. Look how beautiful, admires George. A strange figure in black appears from behind trees. Children notice the stranger. Mr. Shadow approaches the children. Hello, little ones. Want a special game? He says. Children agree with interest. Yes, tell us the rules, they answer in chorus. Do everything I say, but don't tell anyone, explains the stranger. Children start moving to his commands. Raise your hands, lower them, he orders. Susie suddenly falls silent and becomes sad. Peppa worries. What's wrong with you? The sheep doesn't answer questions. Susie, can you hear me? Calls Peppa. Pedro also starts behaving strangely. What's happening to my friends? Thinks Peppa. The frightened girl runs home. Mummy! Daddy! Help! She screams. Parents are busy with work. Not now, dear. We're busy, they reply. Peppa returns to see changed George. No, not you too. She's horrified. All friends stand silently with empty eyes. Peppa is left completely alone. Mr. Shadow approaches her. Now it's your turn, he says ominously. No, I don't want to, resists Peppa, but it's too late. Don't resist or be like everyone else, whispers the dark figure. Peppa slowly loses herself. We are one, she mumbles. All children stand in a row with identical empty faces. Silence. Mr. Shadow leaves satisfied. Mission accomplished, he thinks to himself. Peppa was an ordinary girl. She played, laughed, and threw tantrums. But everything changed when she discovered perfect pictures. In social media, everything seemed beautiful. Perfect families, homes, smiles. Peppa noticed she wasn't like those girls online. Her dress wasn't as pretty, her smile wasn't as white. Her first attempts at perfect photos failed. Peppa couldn't understand why she couldn't make it work. She became distant. The real world seemed gray compared to bright pictures. Childish games no longer interested Peppa. She considered herself too grown up. Hours in front of mirrors became ritual. Peppa searched for flaws she'd never noticed before. Her best friend became an obstacle. Peppa was busy creating the perfect image. Family moments turned into photo sessions. Genuine happiness disappeared, leaving only performance. Every imperfect photo became tragedy. Peppa lost her ability to enjoy simple things. Food became the enemy. She refused favorite meals, striving for impossible ideals. Nights became sleepless. The endless feed of perfect lives gave no peace. Fatigue became constant, but Peppa pretended happiness for cameras. Her brother became obstacle for content. Family bonds broke under pressure of false standards. Parents watched their daughter transform into a stranger. Accidentally finding old photos, Peppa saw herself truly, imperfect but alive. For the first time in ages, she looked away from screens at the real world. The first step toward recovery was hardest, but George still waited for his sister. Playing with her brother reminded Peppa what real happiness felt like, without filters. Family dinner became conversation again, not photo opportunity. The path to healing proved long. Peppa learned to accept herself truly, but how many children will lose themselves chasing others' standards? Peppa wakes up in her bed. Good morning. Today is such a beautiful day for playing. The family has breakfast at the table. Mom, can I go play by the pond today? Peppa leaves the house and waves to her parents. See you tonight. Have a good time. A stranger in a suit appears by the pond. Hello, little pig. I'm a new resident of the town. The crocodile opens a beautiful box. Would you like to see my treasures? They are very special. Peppa looks at the glittering stones. They're so beautiful. I've never seen anything like this. The crocodile leans down to Peppa and whispers, "Yes, I understand. You are special, Peppa." At dinner, Peppa is silent and doesn't eat. Peppa, you're quite quiet today. Is everything all right? George tries to play with his sister. George wants to play with Peppa. Peppa doesn't react. At school, friends invite Peppa to play. Peppa, why don't you want to play hide and seek? Peppa draws strange symbols on paper. What is this, Peppa? It's important. Very important. Peppa tells her parents about her new friend. Mr. Crocodile said I'm special. I have tasks to do. Mom tries to talk to her daughter. Dear, tell us about this new friend. Who is he? Peppa gets angry at her parents. You don't understand. He chose me specifically. Leave me alone. At night, Peppa secretly leaves the house. I have to go. He's waiting for me at the pond. Children with empty eyes gather at the pond. Welcome to our family, Peppa. We've been waiting so long. The crocodile conducts a dark ritual with the children. Now you will only do what I tell you forever. Parents search for children with flashlights. Peppa, where are you? Please answer. Children stand at the edge of the pond, ready to enter the water. The last step to freedom, to eternal peace. Dad grabs Peppa at the last moment. Peppa, this isn't you. Come back to us, daughter. Peppa blinks and comes to her senses. Dad, what? What's happening? Where am I? At home. Peppa sits by the window anxiously. Sometimes I still hear his voice. He's calling me. Good morning, sunshine. Peppa wakes up in her cozy room. The whole family gathered for breakfast. What a beautiful day for a walk. We are so happy to be together. Our family is the most friendly in the world. Children are playing happily in the park. Susie, let's play hide and seek. Who is this strange man behind the trees? He's watching us and smiling. Hello, children. My name is Mr. Smile. Do you want to play a special game? Just look at me and smile. This is a very simple and fun game. Susie, are you okay? Why are you looking so strange and not answering? Something is wrong with my best friend. Susie is acting like a robot. George sits and stares at one point. George, let's go play with toys. George, what's happening to you? Why can't you hear me? I don't want to play anymore. I'll just sit and smile like everyone else. Mom and Dad are cooking dinner mechanically. Their movements have become so strange and identical. My whole family behaves the same way. They move like marionettes with frozen smiles. Their faces are empty and their eyes are lifeless. They are no longer my relatives. Help me. I'm the only one who stayed normal in this house. Mom, Dad, come back to me. I'm your daughter. Don't you recognize me? They hang on invisible strings. Someone controls my family like dolls. Mr. Smile came for me too. Peppa, you're the last one. Join us. No, I don't want to. Leave me alone. I won't be like them. I understand that I cannot resist. He's too strong and I'm all alone. The next morning, everyone sits at the table. Good morning. We are all very happy. I smile like everyone else, but inside, I'm screaming in horror. Now we are all the same and happy, but only I remember who we used to be. Peppa wakes up in her room. Good morning. What a beautiful day. The family has breakfast at the table. Good morning, George. How did you sleep, little one? Children play in the living room. George, let's play with your dinosaur. At breakfast, George stays silent and stares into space. George, can you hear me, dear? Daddy reads the newspaper, not noticing problems. Interesting news today. Mummy tries to get George's attention. George, say something. Mummy is worried. Peppa plays alone in her room. Where is George? Why doesn't he want to play? George sits motionless in the corner. Silence, only silence. Mummy looks at George with concern. What's happening to him? He's completely changed. At dinner, George doesn't touch his food. George, eat something. You need your strength. Peppa tries to cheer up the family. Remember how we laughed yesterday? Nobody laughs. George sits with a full plate. I'm not hungry. Not hungry at all. At night, Peppa hears strange sounds. What are those sounds? George, is that you? George stands by the window with his back to Peppa. There, so quiet, so peaceful. Peppa enters her brother's room. George, what are you doing? Talk to me. George slowly turns to his sister. I'm tired, very tired of everything. George looks with empty eyes. I don't want to play anymore. Never again. In the morning, parents find a note. I went where it's quiet. Where is our boy? Peppa looks out the window at the yard. George, where are you? Come home. Peppa sits alone at the table. So quiet. Too quiet without George. Parents whisper to each other. We should have noticed. We should have helped. The empty chair reminds of George. His place will always be his place. The dinosaur lies forgotten in the grass. Even toys miss him. Everyone misses George. It was a beautiful afternoon in Peppa's garden, but something wasn't quite right. That's strange. I'm sure I left my teddy over there. The toys seemed to move when she wasn't looking. Hello? Is someone there? But the garden had fallen silent, too silent. Where did everything go? Inside the house, darkness crept through every room. Mummy? Daddy? Where is everyone? Her voice echoed through empty halls. Mummy, please answer me. Then she heard it, sounds from below. What is that noise? Against her better judgment, Peppa descended into the basement. Hello? Is anyone down here? What she found chilled her to the bone. Our family photos, but where are all the faces? Every face had been mysteriously erased. This can't be real. This can't be happening. Then George appeared, but he wasn't himself. "Peppa, why did you leave us?" "George, what's wrong with your voice?" His eyes glowed with an otherworldly light. "You're not my brother. You're not George." Peppa ran as fast as her little legs could carry her. "I have to get out of here." She fled to her best friend's house, desperate for help. "Susie will know what to do. She has to be there." But Susie's house stood empty and cold. No, not Susie too. On the wall, a message written in chalk. They all disappeared. What does this mean? With nowhere else to turn, Peppa returned home. Maybe they came back. Maybe they're waiting for me. Her parents sat at the dinner table, motionless as statues. "Mommy, Daddy, you're here!" But they didn't respond. They couldn't respond. Please wake up. Peppa realized the horrible truth. She was completely alone. Everyone's gone. I'm all by myself in this shadow world. Even her own reflection had turned against her. "Why are you smiling?" "I'm crying." "Everything's fine, Peppa." The mirror showed a truth she couldn't accept. This isn't real. This can't be real. Suddenly, Peppa jolted awake in her own bed. It was just a dream. Just a terrible, terrible dream. Relief washed over her like warm sunshine. Thank goodness it was only a nightmare. But on her pillow lay a faded photograph with no faces. No, it can't be. Peppa is playing in the garden with George. "George, let's play hide and seek. I'll be the seeker." Peppa closes her eyes and counts. 1, 2, 3, 10. Ready or not, here I come. Peppa looks for George, but hears a strange whisper. "Peppa, come here." Peppa goes to the old barn. "George, are you there?" Inside the barn, it's dark. "Hello, Peppa. I'm your new friend." The figure looks like Peppa, but with empty eyes. "Do you want to play with me forever?" Peppa steps back. "Who are you? Where's George?" The double smiles eerily. "George is already playing with us. Now it's your turn." Peppa runs away, but the garden has turned dark. "Mummy, Daddy, help me." The house looks abandoned. What's happening? Where is everyone? Peppa enters the house. "Mummy? Daddy? George?" The parents sit motionless. "Mummy, why aren't you answering?" Mummy slowly turns with empty eyes. "Peppa, join us." Daddy also turns around. "We've been waiting for you, Peppa." George appears with empty eyes. "Dinosaur. Forever." Peppa realizes the trap. "No, these aren't my parents. This isn't my brother." Everyone stands up and walks toward Peppa. "Stay with us, Peppa. Forever." Peppa runs to the exit, but the door is locked. "Let me go. I want to go home." The double appears at the door. "You're already home. This is your new family." Peppa closes her eyes and screams. "This is a dream. This must be a dream." Silence. Peppa opens her eyes in her bed. It was a nightmare? Peppa goes to the window. In the garden stands the double waving. "Soon, Peppa, very soon."